I have spent most of my childhood in the traditional Chinese education system. And from childhood to adulthood, we have been constantly instilled with this consciousness that is to obey orders and cultivate team spirits. Therefore, we follow the collective and are loyal to our collective. When studying in Chinese schools, the school has many mandatory rules, such as you have to sit upright whenever you are sitting. You must raise your hands before answering questions. You must wear school uniforms and have uniform hairstyles. And every day, you have to do morning exercises, morning reading, and eye exercises with the entire school. Although some rules still exist after I transfer to an international school, it is obviously relieved a lot. During that time, I always had doubts in my heart, but I couldn't understand what was really behind these activities. As I grew older, I also grew up mentally. And during my upbringing, I have come into contact with people from different cultural backgrounds. There are people who grew up with a Chinese education background like me, and there are people who are completely different from us, who have received an open education. I can strongly sense the differences between these two types of people. People who grew up under Chinese education seem to be better at obeying and following the rules. They rarely protest and resist the decisions or orders made by the higher authorities, which enlightened me of the different intentions that seem to be lurking between the different education systems. In Foucault's book, I learned that school is also an important part of the social discipline system. In Discipline and Punishment, he mentioned that schools are one of the discipline institutions as military camps and factories. Since the 18th century, the punishment of students' bodies have gradually transformed into the transformation and control of students' souls and thoughts. The school constantly conducts brainwashing training on us by creating hierarchical surveillance, normative adjudication, and ritualized inspection, and subtly shapes students into individuals who conform to social norms. However, growing up under this brainwashing education system, we often easily lose the ability to think independently and our own distinct personalities. The obedience is deeply ingrained into everyone's bones. We don't question or think, we just blindly believe in the power of leadership and groups, and ignore the voices of doubt from the outside world, and sometimes even from within. We are in this vortex called the collective, and we are just like sticks that are wrapped tightly around the mighty axe, waiting for the dictators to slam us against their enemies.